Hello, I'm a fuzzy wizard, and welcome to Noah's Knowledge Center.
You guys remember World War I, right? That wasn't very much fun, was it? A lot of people died. Well, what if I told you there was a way to avoid that? And it starts with where the war starts, the Balkans. The Balkans are a region in southern Europe east of Italy. That means they're over here. But of course, in order to the Balkan problem, you have to understand the Balkan problem. And in order to understand the Balkan problem, you have to know some stuff about the Balkans. Luckily, I picked up a book. History time with Fuzzy Wizard. From around the year 0 on, the Balkans were controlled by the Byzantine and Roman empires. The Byzantines and Romans ruled the locals under a policy of feudalism, much like the rest of Europe, where the peasants would work for the nobles on the land. From the fall of Constantinople to about 1900, the Ottoman Turks were the primary rulers of the Balkans. They deposed the feudalistic landlords. They took a more hands-off approach, meaning lower taxes, and that the Balkans' roads, which were already in terrible condition, fell into even further disarray. When the Ottoman Empire began to collapse in the early 1900s, the long-standing hypothetical question of what do we do when the Ottoman Empire collapses was no longer hypothetical. The answer to the Western powers seemed simple. Carve up what was left of the Ottoman Empire between the indigenous peoples living there and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Austria-Hungary got large portions of Romania as well as the entirety of Bosnia and Slovenia. The Islamic peoples of Montenegro, Kosovo, and Macedonia were forced under the leadership of the Christian Serbs, and portions of Greece that were very clearly Greek were partitioned off to Bulgaria. Other than those issues, though, most of the borders follow ethnic lines. The Balkans are a mess. You don't have to just take my word for it. You can take the word of our trusted foreign correspondent, Alex Miles.
I'm not a reporter, and this isn't the Balkans. I don't know where they are, but I'm pretty sure it's a mess.
Thank you, Alex. Now on to the map, our actual solution to this mess. But, of course, the question we're trying to answer here is, why are the Balkans a mess? The short answer to this is Serbia. And the long answer to this is there's just a lot of different people and a lot of different kinds of people groups. And they're mostly poor because the land is poor and because of foreign domination. So, how does our map help fix this? Well, let's start with the easy stuff. Croatia, Slovakia, and Bulgaria, as well as Greece, mostly fall along ethnic lines. There's very little deviation because there's no need for it. These countries are all ethnically homogeneous. You'll notice that Kosovo, as well as parts of Macedonia, Montenegro, and Serbia, have all been absorbed into Albania, which has been renamed to Greater Albania because it's greater. The reason for this is that the people in all of these places are Muslim and primarily ethnically Albanian. You'll notice that some of Kosovo is actually ceded back to Serbia, and those are majority Serb areas that have, since Kosovo's independence, been angry at the Albanian majority in Kosovo and have been wanting to go back to Serbia. I ceded portions of Croatia to a new country called Serbian Bosnia. Now, the big problem with Bosnia, of course, is that parts of it are ethnically Bosnian. The other half of it is largely ethnically Serbian, and then there's a bunch of other ethnicities modeled in there, like Croatians and Montenegrins. So, I split the part that is almost entirely Serbians to create a new nation of Serbian Bosnia. Now, both Serbian Bosnia and Bosnian Bosnia have a equal claim to the capital city of Sarajevo. This issue of a racially non-homogeneous Bosnia led to Serbian nationalists in Bosnia, which caused the assassination of Duke Franz Ferdinand, as well as gave Serbia the impetus to invade Bosnia in the 1990s. I ceded a little bit of Albania to Macedonia because those portions are primarily Macedonian, and I gave portions of Bulgaria to Turkey as those are majority Turk areas. You'll notice that all of these countries are controlled entirely or almost entirely by the ethnicity for which they are named. That's great.